Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Wednesday, December the 7th, 2022. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. We have got a packed show, a lot to get into here on this hump day. I see Jonathan Lee, Xavier, Kayshawn, Justin Langford, Cameron, Brennan M., Cocky Twan, Wesley Bowles, Stephen Boyle Jr., Cody Gaskins, Travi, Connor Lee Gadd. What's going on? Appreciate you all tuning in. Also, those in the Big Cock Club Discord over the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, be sure your questions are answered there. You guys let me know if we sound any different today on the airwaves. We've got the new interface hooked up, connected. It is really crispy here in the headphones. Really, really nice setup here. Again, hopefully everything is good to go with the phone lines and stuff like that. Again, it's crazy. I didn't realize how badly I needed the upgrade until I got the upgrade. And this thing is awesome. It's like the fourth or third generation. The old one I had was nowhere even near the third generation. So hopefully we have resolved some of the sound issues we had from before with the interface cutting in and out. Again, we'll really test it later in the show. We'll test it later in the show when you guys call in. Of course, 12:05. We are actually going to have Anthony Treesh of Pro Football Focus on the show for the final time of this season. I don't think Anthony's going to be able to come on for the bowl game. Either way, we are going to get him on today. And again, really excited to chat with Anthony Treesh. Guys, of course, as always, TDC brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Go down the Prize Picks app, go to prizepicks.com. When you do, use the promo code TSUS to receive a 100% deposit match up to $100, guys. They have everything you can think of: college sports, pro sports, anything and everything in between. They have got it. Again, that's our friends over at Prize Picks. So many fans and listeners of the Daily Crow have made tons of money with our friends at Prize Picks, and you should as well. Go download the Prize Picks app, go to prizepicks.com, use that promo code TSUS to receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. And I want to point something out, guys. It's really, really cool. You know, as we upgrade, obviously, as we upgrade the new interface. And for those of you who don't know what an interface is, it's literally just what your it's what your microphone, it's the box your microphone plugs into that goes into your computer or whatever you're recording on, and it makes the sound good. So it's something you have to have, right? Especially when you have a nice microphone. This box right here, though, this is the old interface, and why this is so cool. You guys see probably I have my old microphone hung up. This interface right here, every piece of audio content, podcast, live show, every piece of audio content that you've heard since August of 2019 that has been like behind a microphone, you know, my own iPhone or something like that. But every piece of audio content you've heard since August of 2019, every podcast, every live show, it's gone through this box. So really, really cool. Retiring the old, out with the old, in with the new. And it's always a cool thing when you do that. So, all right, let's go ahead, guys. Get him on. He's waiting in the wings, if you will. Again, for the final time this season, I'm very, very pleased to be joined, and we greatly appreciate his time. Anthony Treesh of Pro Football Focus. Anthony, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Doing pretty good. Happy we can finally catch back up. It's been a minute, and since then, it's been all positive for the Gamecocks. Hell of an end of the year for them.
Yeah, dude, let me ask you that. We'll just go ahead and dive into it and start there, man. I mean, how shocking is it? I guess we haven't talked in a couple of weeks, but South Carolina out of nowhere has the offensive explosion against Tennessee. Obviously, Spencer Rattler's best day, throwing for 6 touchdowns. You then look at the rivalry game. Gamecocks going to that one. They open up as a 16-point underdog. The line's at 14.5 when the game is played. And South Carolina, yet again for the second straight week, I thought kind of played like the favorite in the ball game, if you will. Just talk about how surprising it was to you to see the end of the season. I mean, because certainly it was for me, right? I mean, I was on social media parading around saying that Tennessee was going to destroy the Gamecocks and that South Carolina didn't have any chance. And most people agreed with me and thought that was the case. And I mean, the finish to the season that we saw, one of the more surprising finishes, not just in South Carolina circles, but I mean, across college football. I don't know if there was a team that made a more dramatic resurgence in their final 2 games or their final stretch than the Gamecocks did.
Yeah, I mean, if you told me that in the preseason, I wouldn't have been too surprised because that's kind of the way I thought the season would transpire. In our PFL College Football Preview magazine, that's what I wrote. I said, South Carolina, they're not going to be a contender, but they're going to play spoiler to the teams that are. as the season went on, it didn't look too great. And even before the Tennessee game, I was right there with you. I thought they were gonna lose decidedly. I think I said it was gonna be like a 30-point game potentially.
Mm.
We saw a different South Carolina team, and considering where they were at, just with the losses, big loss to Florida, losing to Mizzou. It seemed like it was setting up for, okay, this team 6-4. They're playing two teams that are in the conversation for the college football playoffs still. Are they going to be able to hold their own? And you could see reasons why maybe they lose some gas, lose some juice, and they wouldn't be as confident as maybe they would have been earlier in the year. But Shane Bieber challenged them, and they rallied. Of course, come out with those two massive, massive W's to get to 8-4 on the season for what I think is a highly successful year. And really, you could probably point to every single facet, and even in the Clemson game, right? I mean, you have an early pick six, and when you have one of those miscellaneous touchdowns like that, it's hard to kind of overcome. But they battled back again through. Spencer Rattler turned it around, and he played a good football game in the end after that. It was kind of surprising given the state of where South Carolina was in that moment. In the preseason, I wouldn't have been too surprised, but as the season went on, the way things played out, I was surprised. So that's a testament to the coaching staff, rallying those players. Marcus Satterfield, and we've talked a lot about him, but he had a hell of a 2 weeks there. You could just give a pat on the back, kudos to everybody. It was just a great, 2 games against very, very formidable opponents.
Let's talk that Clemson game, Anthony, a little bit, because you look at it the way it started for Spencer Rattler specifically, and I love talking Rattler with you because, of course, again, I love the fact that I won't say you went against all odds, but you were obviously one of his most vocal supporters throughout the preseason, throughout the regular season as well. And that final game, I thought you really saw the resiliency, of a Spencer Rattler. The way it started, you throw a pick six, you throw a red zone interception, things are just not going your team's way early on. You fall down 14-0. And I really felt like it was almost, you could say that Clemson game was more impressive than the Tennessee game was, because everybody has a game where it's all clicking, right? Everything just falls into place. And we knew he had the talent to do so. But to be able to respond to the adversity and bring your team back, and he lowers his shoulder and gets the touchdown, shows the willingness to put his face in there and do what his team needs him to do. The beautiful deep ball to Antoine Wells later in the game. So many big plays, especially in that second half. Just what you saw from Spencer Rattler and how impressed you were from number 7, the way he was able to rally the Gamecocks and in turn lead them to victory.
Yeah, extremely. And he didn't do it against, a lesser opponent, right? It wasn't like I don't mean to throw a stray here at Vandy, but it wasn't like he did this against Vandy where he's struggling and then turning around and lit him up. But we do it against Clemson that still had a pretty tough defense. That's nothing short of remarkable. And I think it's a testament to the player he is. And, I was actually watching him this morning, just kind of going through the whole course of the season, just seeing how he kind of progressed. And I felt like in that Tennessee game and in the Clemson game, you really started to see kind of the player we were all expecting from the get-go, right? The player that we saw at Oklahoma early on. It was the confident Spencer Rattler, right? And I think we kind of saw that there. So just kind of bouncing back from that, I definitely think it helps his case too, with depending on what his decision is this offseason. He's got a big choice to make, whether he wants to go pro or come back another year. I think that game definitely helps, kind of having that in your back pocket, just being able to bounce back, not getting in your own head and just letting it get out of hand and fighting back there. Because like you said, having a pick six, coming back from that is tough. A red zone interception, that's also crushing. It can kill a lot of confidence there, but it didn't with 7. And he came back from that. So I thought all in all, I thought you kind of saw his traits start to really shine. Just the arm talent, the ball placement, the accuracy. Again, still got a lot of stuff to clean up on, but you start to see just that natural talent kind of come through. But also just the resilience is huge.
Back-to-back wins to close out the season, Anthony, in games in which you were 23-point and 16-point underdogs, respectively. You beat top 10 teams back-to-back for the first time in school history. You finished the season 8-4, 4-4 in league play, good enough for a third-place finish in the SEC East, only behind Georgia and Tennessee, of course. National perception of Gamecock football in your mind moving forward. How does it look for Shane Beamer's squad?
Looks pretty good. It's still a pretty big mountain to climb to get to that consistent elite status. But just the fact that, I mean, 2 years ago right now, it was looking horrible. I mean, it
Mhm.
seemed like South Carolina was going to be in a long drought and they weren't going to be able to fight back, relatively soon. They had the great year above expectation last year when they're expected to win just a couple of games. We managed to win a bowl game. And I think they kind of hit the higher end of the scale in terms of what they were able to accomplish in the end of this year. So I think you have to look at the years to come in the Shane Beamer era and really be confident about what this program can really become. I mean, I think you've started to see the positive impact from a recruiting aspect, and I think if you can continue to add to that, I mean, I think that's how you can start to build up to getting back to that, consistent elite status. So, I mean, I think this is as impressive as 2 years as we've seen from a head coaching perspective in recent memory. And definitely a lot of high hopes there. I mean, I'm still bullish on Shane Beamer in South Carolina in the short and long term. I definitely think Beamer has shown, he has what it takes to be, one of the best coaches in college football and building up, a program that was depleted into potentially a juggernaut. I think he has that in him. So, I mean, all in all, it's still been just a remarkable start to what he's done as a head coach.
Mhm. Now, Anthony, you look at Spencer Rattler's draft stock, and he's got a decision upcoming, right? It was a rough season for the majority of the year, but those final two games, the way he finished, and he has indicated he will indeed play in the Gator Bowl against Notre Dame. But when you look at him, I mean, it's I know it's kind of tough because we're not in there, we're not having those conversations with the kids specifically, and at the end of the day, the decision's on them. But if you were advising Spencer Rattler, right, looking at his potential, what his draft grade is, where he most likely will be picked up. What would you advise? Do you think he's better served coming back to South Carolina for another year under a new OC, I might add, or do you think he should go ahead and make the jump to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, and NIL definitely goes into that.
Yes.
What's the difference there? That's the other thing that's added to it that's pretty significant. I think probably all things considered, I would probably lean towards coming back another year. I think just with the way this quarterback class is shaped up, right? I mean, he wasn't going to be after last year, he wasn't going to be that top tier guy, that top 10 pick. This class, I don't think is rich of those, consensus elite quarterback prospects like we have seen in the past. I think it's just rich of mid-tier guys that have some upside, but you got to be kind of hesitant on taking them pretty early. And like guys I'm speaking of, like Anthony Richardson of Florida, Will Levis of Kentucky, I would still throw in that group. Yeah, Hendon Hooker, even with the ACL injury. Michael Penix Jr. would have been in that boat, but he's coming back another year at Washington. So, I mean, I definitely think that also played in part to Penix's decision to come back to Washington. So I think he could probably serve himself much better by coming back another year. And just given the way his career has gone, I think teams are going to be a little bit, very much more hesitant with him as opposed to some of those other guys. And that's where he could kind of fall out of the picture, maybe slide a little bit. And I think he could have, if he has a big year, let's say the way he performed down the stretch, the second half of the season, I thought from him was awesome. And if he can kind of piece that together throughout the whole course of a season, it could possibly change everything for him. So I do think that would probably serve him best, but you can't fault him for going to the pros. I think he's deserved the opportunity. Again, I like him. I like his skill set. I would take him probably earlier than what the consensus is. I haven't really looked around, asked around to see how people feel about his draft stock right now, but I would probably assume I'm on the higher end of that scale. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think for South Carolina, obviously that would be an amazing thing if he came back. And I think it could kickstart something special for the Shane Beamer coaching tenure at South Carolina too. So I mean, I don't think he can go wrong either way. But I would lean coming back. That's for sure.
Yeah, you think Anthony Rattler's definitely a guy that's going to shine in the combine or workouts or what have you, just because of his skill set, like you mentioned. And certainly, it's funny how quickly things can change because I think obviously when you're not playing well, and there's a lot of people out there like, well, if you want to go pro, it's fine. Now, like everybody's just begging, Spencer Rattler, please come back. Let's run it back one more, right? But I think you make a great point. The NIL could factor in when you look at the draft slots and how much guys are getting paid and these NIL packages and everything they're putting together. It's I think there's a real conversation to be had there. Talking about the OC, Anthony, there's names floating about, Kendall Briles, Garrett Riley, Phil Longo from North Carolina. Dan Mullen got shot down yesterday when he said, hey, they're going to find a good OC, but it ain't going to be me. I don't know that I'll ask you on a specific name, but I know we've had this conversation all season long, but I know you're going to have a unique vantage point because, we've interacted all season. And so you followed Gamecocks football closely all year. And then, you factor in Spencer Rattler potentially coming back. Offensively, what direction do you think Carolina should go? And I think you and I would both agree that this OC hire, this next one, it's very important. It's pivotal Shane Beamer hit a home run on this one or get this one right. In regards to philosophy or schematically or just overall, what are your thoughts on the vacancy and who do you think they should target or what they should be trying to do moving forward on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and also too, what comes first. Are we going to see Spencer Rattler make his decision, or are we going to see an OC hire first? And I think that could be telling a little bit. I personally was advocating for Dan Mullen, so I was disappointed in that. I think that would have been a good fit for him. It would have been a great thing for South Carolina. I know Florida fans do not like Dan Mullen. I love Dan Mullen. I still think he's a great coach, and just considering what he has done, he's proven it. But that's not going to happen. I think obviously whoever it is, hypothetically, let's say Spencer Rattler does come back. I think it would be very, very important to, kind of let him play his own game. And we talked about it a lot. It's playing to the strengths of your players. I think that's, something that I really value when looking at a lot of those coaches. Some people have differing opinions on it, but I definitely am a big advocate to playing to the strength of your players. Don't force them into a system that they may not be comfortable in, or they may not, they struggle to develop in. And in college football, it's very, that runs rapid in a lot of cases. Just kind of doing what you've known as opposed to adjusting there. So I think that's probably the overall theme, and you can get like very nuanced with it, but it's finding somebody that is willing to change, not kind of being stuck with what they've been taught, what they know already and what they've done. It's being more open-minded and considerate to what personnel you have and playing to that. I think that's probably the big theme that I would kind of look at with an OC hire. But definitely, like I said, the big thing with this I'm looking at is what really does come first. Is it the decision with Spencer Rattler, or is it the OC hire? Because again, I think that could really say a lot about the program.
Switching gears a little bit, Anthony, I want to get your take on this. We just talked Spencer Rattler and the role that NIL can play. Your thoughts on NIL and transfer portal, because as we're seeing, Jaheim Bell and Austin Stogner, both in the Gamecocks, hit the portal. I think over 1,000 players now at this point are in the transfer portal. And you're a guy, and you guys at Pro Football Focus, you do both the college and the pro game, which I just saw. Shout out to you all. Highlighting Kingsley Enagbare, who's having a phenomenal season with the Green Bay Packers. But anyways, it's something that you and I haven't discussed all season long, which is kind of crazy when you think of how big of a role it plays in college football. Just your overall thoughts on NIL, transfer portal, the role that it's playing in college sports now in college football. Because again, in turn, it is affecting the pro game, because a lot of guys that maybe would have made the jump or felt like they needed to for their families, for their situations, they can now come back and benefit off NIL. Heck, we're seeing players on current rosters get lured to other schools, right? And it's open. I mean, it's out in the open. Hey, kids got a chance to make life-changing money. I think you heard Wake Forest head coach say something about his quarterback. Hey, if he can go make life-changing money, it is what it is. So your overall thoughts on NIL transfer portal, is it good for college football, bad for college football, in the middle? Where do you stand on it all?
I think it's great for college football. I love all of it. And you're always going to have somebody finding the bad examples. There's a lot of cases of some kids not being able to find schools after entering the portal. And that's a true thing. But at the end of the day, I think you're seeing far more good with it. And specifically, I'm looking at, also those guys that can make life-changing money, because you never know what can happen from an injury perspective, right? A lot of that could be taken away. You can't plan for that. So kind of securing that as soon as you can is huge, but also just seeing a lot of these group of 5 players. Like I've seen so many star group of 5 players that are very underrated enter the portal, and they're going to get awesome opportunities to showcase their talents at the Power 5 level. And it's only going to help them from there on out, help their development, also help their draft status, just kind of showing like, hey, I can hang with these guys. And that's what I love about it. And we see it too with FCS guys, like a guy like Juice Wells, right? Coming from James Madison, he was a star player there, but he showed he can be a star for an SEC program, right? Now that the fact that we're able to see that, I love it. It's absolutely awesome. So I'm all for it. There's always going to be bad situations that come from it. But I mean, there were horrible situations with the last system that really kind of made it difficult in a lot of ways. And even though there is a lot of movement, I think there definitely needs to be some change with the timeline of events, because I know staffs are working 24/7. It's one thing after another, and a lot's blended together for them. So I definitely think for the lives of people in college football, it's better to have a structure in place. But overall, it's hard to argue anything other than this is an awesome thing for college football. And at the end of the day, it is about the players, and we're seeing good happen for the players. They're making money, they're profiting off of their name, image, and likeness. In a lot of cases, they're sharing that with their teammates that may not have the opportunity to do that. And they get to showcase their talents for other premier programs where they otherwise wouldn't. Again, I think it's just a great thing for the sport.
And you mentioned Anthony too. I mean, South Carolina, you could argue there are a few teams in college football that benefited more from the transfer portal than the Gamecocks. When you look at Rattler, Wells, Christian Beal-Smith, Devontae Reed, Austin Stogner, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, with the latest events, it's tough, but live by the sword, die by the sword, my friend. I mean, it's just the reality of college football. And like you mentioned, I'm not envious of the job that these head coaches and these support staffs and all the above have to do in regards to recruiting high school players, their own rosters, the portal. It is certainly they're earning every penny of their paychecks these days. That's for sure. Anthony, I appreciate you taking the time. And before we get you out of here, we're not going to dive into specifics of the game, obviously, but South Carolina, Notre Dame in the Gator Bowl. Just overall thoughts on the matchup. And when you look at the bowl schedule, where you think it kind of ranks? I feel like it's probably one of the better games of the bowl season. Early spread from FanDuel came out 4.5. I think the Fighting Irish are favored by, but I mean, certainly I would think with portal and everything else, many moving pieces, that probably moves. But I'm expecting a really good game. I haven't done a deep dive on the Fighting Irish. The only game I watched was when they played Clemson earlier this year. But just your overall thoughts. And I think a great bowl game for Shane Beamer in year 2, taking the Gamecocks to the Gator Bowl for the first time since the late 80s.
It's such an awesome bowl game. I mean, you look at these two teams, they're two rising programs, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. I know there's a lot of rich history with Notre Dame, but just with the coaching staffs in particular, I think they're two of the best coaching staffs in college football. So for me, it's an awesome bowl game and matchup that I'm very much looking forward to. And I think overall, you look at the entire slate, we see them all over, and I definitely think this stacks up with them. I think this game, Texas, Washington, those are some of the games I'm most looking forward to. In addition to everything else in between, because I love college football. But this is definitely going to be one of the better bowl games that it's pretty even there. So I'm very much looking forward to it on December 30th. A little primer for the college football playoff.
Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State is our playoff. Who's your pick to win it all? Does Georgia go back-to-back, or does somebody else outside of the SEC step up and take the crown home?
Yeah, I feel like I changed my opinion by the day. I think we will see Georgia, Michigan in the Natty. That I'm pretty stuck with. I could see a case for either one. I think with Michigan, the allure there is that I think JJ McCarthy is an awesome quarterback, and I do not think that they've fully untapped what he can do. We started to see it over the last couple of games, but I think if they get to a point where they really need him to make some plays, we can see a level of JJ McCarthy that we haven't seen, because they haven't really needed to break it out. So I'm going to be. I think they very much have a ceiling that a lot of people don't recognize, and that one makes me think Michigan can have a shot in this one, even with no Blake Corum, who I think is one of the best players in college football. Clearly, he was a Heisman candidate before the knee injury a couple of weeks ago. So it changes by the day, but I think it's probably going to be either Georgia or Michigan. And, maybe today I'm kind of feeling Michigan, but we'll see if that holds.
Anthony, again, man, I just want to say thank you so much, man. I appreciate you taking the time, not just today, but throughout this entire college football season. It's truly been a pleasure having you on, my friend, and look forward to working with you again soon, man. Take care.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care, my friend. Good stuff. Anthony Treesh of Pro Football Focus. I believe that'll be the final time we ever have Anthony on. And again, I truly do want to say thank you to him. all of our other guests. Of course, JC Sherbert will continue to be a weekly guest for us, but Anthony Treesh did a great job for us this season. I thought really brought a different perspective in regards to the numbers and just breaking things down differently, right? Giving a different perspective, which I love to have differing outlooks and perspectives, and also his national view of things in Gamecocks football. And so again, I want to say thank you so much to Anthony Treesh for that, the value he provided this football season, and look forward to doing work with him yet again in the future. Guys, let me know, by the way, I turned up my mic a little bit. Obviously, we are playing with sound levels with this new interface. The sound is sounding very, very crispy on my end. You guys let me know if it's a little bit loud, a little bit quiet. I actually turned the microphone up on the Melon app here. But again, I'm still playing around with it. We will find a perfect medium. I think this is pretty good right here. Either way, y'all just let me know. 843-790-3377. Guys, let me go ahead. The phone lines are now officially open here on this Wednesday. And yeah, the real test, though, for the sound will be when somebody calls in. That's when things have chopped up a little bit. But again, with this new interface, I'm pretty confident that we should be good to go. Really, really good stuff. It's, I don't know why I waited so long to upgrade. I probably should have done that before the season, but either way, here we are now. So anyways, guys, like I mentioned, it's really cool. I mean, this is the box right here that every piece of content, audio content that you've heard, every podcast since August of 2019, this box has been responsible for. So, it's a sentimental thing. It's a cool thing when you upgrade the equipment. I've got that microphone behind me framed or hung up or whatever. It's really, really cool. So I'll do something special with this, commemorate all the great work the Focusrite Scarlet has done. But this is a 2i2. This is the 4i4. So we have definitely upgraded. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Phone lines are wide open. 843-790-3377. And in the meantime, I'll say this, because we've spent all week talking transfer portal, and understandably, right? That has been the area of focus. That has been the big news all week long. I do want to take a moment, though, today, because on Monday's show, right, we did our awards show, and we haven't it's funny. We haven't really stopped on these here airwaves to look back on the season that was, because again, we've been so caught up in the portal and everything swirling with the OC search and per sources this and rumors that and whatever. But I do think it's important from time to time to stop and look back, and especially to recognize, right, great performances. And so I on the Monday show did everything from the season MVP to offensive, defensive player of the year to comeback player of the year to what have you, anything and everything in between. One of the awards I handed out was the most improved player. And whether you want to label most improved, I don't care what award you want to give him. I do want to recognize the performance of Jordan Burch this season. Because you might recall in the preseason, I was very critical of his game. I said, hey, he was approaching quote unquote bust territory. I didn't say he was a bust, but I said that another season like he had previously, and some folks would start to put that label on him fairly or unfairly. So I want to take a moment to recognize the season that Jordan Burch had. 56 total tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 10 quarterback hurries, which led the Gamecocks, and 1 fumble recovery. Round of applause, sir. A job well done, and a fantastic job at responding to pressure applied from yours truly. Let's jump to the phone lines. And he hung up. Okay. Hunter hung up. He didn't want to talk that bad, I guess. Sorry, Hunter. I wanted to get my point in there before I took your call. All good. Either way, call back in if you like. 843-790-3377. But again, I wanted to, there's certain guys also. Like I gave the Offensive Player of the Year award, and I gave the Cot Commander award for the season to Spencer Rattler. But I gave the Offensive Player of the Year award to Marshawn Lloyd because I felt like when you look at this season, how could you not mention the performance from him? All right, let's get him back on. Let's get Hunter back on here.
Call from
Hunter.
Hunter, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, yeah, no, that was my bad. I looked on your YouTube to see if it rang through you. I thought somebody else took my phone on.
No, you're good. You're good. What's going on?
Not a problem. So with all the defense going in the transfer portal, do you think it has to do with anything with next year, with our new defense? With all the 4 stars and everything, they know that they're going to get their spot taken and everything.
So the question is, guys entering the portal, is it because they know other guys are coming in to take their spot? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I should have said it a little bit better.
No, you're good. I'm just making sure I'm understanding. I mean, that certainly can be the case. That certainly could be the case. I mean, guys want to play, right? So, and here's the thing: I think people don't really think about is like, and Shane Beamer mentioned it, that coaches sit down with these players after the season and have real open, honest conversations with them about their role in the football team, where they fall in the depth chart. And I mean, listen, I think people would be surprised to know that Shane Beamer and other coaches on every staff, tell players, hey, it's probably in your best interest to transfer. Hey, if this is where you fall on the depth chart. This is who we're bringing in recruiting. This is what our roster looks like. It's nothing personal. It would be more of a disservice if these coaches were not truthful, if they were not forthcoming, if they were to paint some picture to them that, you're a vital part of this team. You're going to play. You're going to it's all about setting proper expectations. So, only 22 guys can start, right? Only 22 can start, and a lot of guys want to play. Hey, everybody that goes to a school like South Carolina, everybody that goes to an SEC school, they all think they're going to play at the next level, but you can't get to the next level on the bench. So that's why, again, I've said before, like when guys enter the portal, especially guys that don't play, I mean, just wish them well, because again, it's there's no glory in riding the pine. There's just no glory in riding the bench. And so, yeah, I mean, guys want to improve their situation and get an opportunity to play. And again, a lot of these times, I guarantee you, Shane Beamer's telling them, or these coaches are telling them, hey, we like you. We think you're a great fit. I'm sure if they wanted to stay and be Gamecocks, they wouldn't have a problem with it, but they're just open and honest with them and set realistic expectations. So, yeah, I mean, playing time factors in. I mean, for different guys, there's different things that factor in, but yeah, certainly playing time where they fall in the depth chart's a big one.
Just like you said too, like on the quarterback situation, like we know maybe Colton Gothier might not play. I mean, he probably played probably once or twice already in the season, and I don't know. I'm surprised he hasn't gone into the portal yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Colton Gothier is still on the roster, if we're being totally honest. Again, the transfer portal just opened. But, there's some guys that they just, hey, listen, there's some guys, and call it for what it is, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just the reality. There's some guys that I think they just enjoy being SEC football players. And it's even if you're not playing, I will say this, it's cool to be an SEC football player, man. It's you get treated like a god on campus. You're a Gamecock. I mean, Hunter from the Daily Crow and many others that tune in the Spurs up show. Just think of a guy like Colton Gothier as like as a shining light, a shining star, because he's a Gamecock, because he wears the garnet and black, and even if he doesn't play. So you go to a school like a Newberry where I played. You go to a school like a Newberry where I played, or a lower level. You go to like a James Madison where Juice Wells was at. You don't get that glory. You don't get that attention. You don't get that hype. And so some guys are like, you know what? I may go play at a smaller school, or I can be an SEC football player. And you know what? Being an SEC football player, being a football player at the University of South Carolina is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, I mean, for each guy, it's different. I'm not trying to speak for any of them, but for each guy, it's different. And, they make those decisions based off of what they want.
Dude, my brother-in-law always been talking so much shit, even after we whooped the shit out of them 63-38. I still rubbing in his face with the score. And, he's always like, we were 10-2, a better record than we are. Yeah, that's true. But I'd rather be an 8-4, beating 2 top 10 teams, blowing them out, than a 10-2 loss to a unranked team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your brother-in-law sounds like a slapdick.
Yeah, trust me, he is. He always talks so much shit. I hear it all the time. It's annoying, to be honest. But I rubbed that 63-38 school all the time. So
good to hear. No, you definitely should. If you've got a Tennessee fan in your life, just remind them what happened.
Oh, he's breaking my with so.
For sure.
I'm
Well,
just
Hunter,
gonna have to. I'm just gonna.
I was gonna say, keep on keeping on, man. Keep on giving them hell.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna go. So I'll like to talk to you off again.
Hunter, you're good, man. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for the call.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Take care. Great stuff from Hunter. Appreciate him calling in again, guys. Phone lines are open. Appreciate Anthony Treesh taking the time, but it's all of your calls here on this. Wednesday. Somebody texted in and asked me, what is your definition of Beamer ball? That's a great question. What is your definition? How do you define Beamer ball? I'll tell you this, because I know traditionally Beamer ball had been just special teams. I agree what Jake Crane says. It's using every facet of the game to beat you. I like that definition. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Derek.
Derek, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I just want to get your opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually piggybacking off of Hunter. I'm pretty sure, probably seen it, just like everybody else has seen it, is when this is a little off, but it got something to do with Shane Beamer. When Deion Sanders took that job at Colorado, and he went in there, and he literally told those kids, "Go ahead and get your transfer papers ready. I got my son gonna be the quarterback. Yada 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 yada. All of that." Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking, like, do you really feel like Shane Beamer or coaches in the country will actually tell kids like, "Oh, you're not gonna make my team, and you need to just go ahead and find yourself something else to do"? I'll take it off the line, man. You have a good one, brother.
Derek, I appreciate the call. Great stuff. Are coaches going to be as open and honest as maybe Deion? I don't know about that, but listen, I think coaches set very realistic expectations, which again is fair. That's what that's what you want as a player. That's what you want as a player. So again, do they put it quite the way that Deion put it so openly in that video? I'm bringing my own luggage with me. Like, do they put it that way? I don't know if they quite put it that way. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I think there's definitely conversations. I think you'd be a little surprised. Some of the conversations had, like, hey, listen, we're bringing in this guy, and this guy. I mean, you look at some of the DBs, right, that have left, right? I mean, and you look at what they brought in the recruiting class last year and who's coming back, and it's like, hey, I mean, you're not going to play. I mean, so I don't know again that they're as open and just as blunt as Deion was, but I do think there's just no way you can operate as a college football coach or a college coach in general. There's really no way you can operate in any facet of life without setting realistic expectations. I mean, you think about it. Think about if you at your 9 to 5 at your office job as an entrepreneur, you're working with people. I mean, if you don't set realistic expectations, if you don't make that a habit, you're not going to have a whole lot of success. You're just not. So, that's where a lot of problems. I mean, you think about relationships, you think about anything, right? If you don't set realistic expectations, if you're not intentional, right, from the jump, then you are setting yourself up for massive failure. Let's see. Let me get back to these questions here. Coleman Hall, Chris, do you agree the portal should have a time window? As in, it's only open from February 1 to August 1. The in-season transfers seem to be a mess. How exactly does one have a scholarship yet states that he won't play? Yeah, I'll say this, Coleman, because I think there needs to be a balance. I mean, again, it sounds like you have no problem with the portal. I have no problem with the portal. I think when you pair up the portal and NIL, it does get a little bit confusing, and it gets messy more so, I should say. But yeah, I mean, you got to think about the coaches too, and you got to think about the schools. And I mean, you're putting so much pressure on, these coaching staffs, these support staffs, these recruiting staff. Like it's just tough. It's just tough. So, I think keeping them in mind is important, and setting up a system in which everyone can live and thrive, and the players can take care of themselves, the coaches can take care of themselves, and everybody be Gucci. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Josh.
Josh, what's up, man? How are you?
This is a collect call to let you know that Carolina still sucks.
Okay. Josh from El Paso, Texas. I appreciate you, John. Thank you for the call, my friend. I think John said he was a Georgia fan, maybe. I don't know. That was a fantastic conversation. They're very riveting. Rebecca, what's going on? Hope you're feeling better, Rebecca. I saw you on Twitter that you were feeling a little bit under the weather. So hopefully you're doing better. Let's see. Jeffrey Jackson, dedication and perseverance key. I get we want what's best for these young guys, but they also need to understand, like Dion said, the portal can actually hurt these guys. I mean, it can. Again, that's why you need to make sure you have the right guys around you. You have the right guys around you, or the right people, I should say, around you that are advising you. And, it's not some just selfish, some move for selfish gain. And listen, I mean, I get it. I get it, right? Go get your bag, chase the paper. But if you make every decision in life based purely off money, just, you'll see how far it gets you. I don't know that that's the best means of operation, but I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their wallet, with their bag. Go get your bag, and if it pays off for you, great. And, the market has a way of talking, and life has a way of humbling you and teaching you lessons along the way. So again, we'll see, but if you're just purely chasing the bag and making every decision in life based off chasing the bag, sometimes it doesn't play out the way you think. I don't know. Either way, guys, hey, let's go ahead and jump into a quick break. On the side, I want to continue to hear from you, more your questions, comments, calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377 here on this Wednesday, December the 7th, 2022. Appreciate you all tuning in. What are we, just 18 days away from Christmas? How about that? Right? 18 days from, or so think of all the things. We're 8 days away from the start of bowl practice. We are 2 weeks away from signing day. We are 18 days from Christmas Day and 23 days from the bowl game. All right, let's start at the phone lines.
Call from
Hunter.
Hunter's having a tough day. B. Hughes says, Bell says, hey, tighten up, playa. Hey, playa, I'm tight. I'm tight as can be, playa. Let's see. Coleman Hall, I think team collective NIL should be unlawful. Blurs the line between individual endorsement and pay to play football to be on a team. That's a fair take. Let's jump back to the phone lines.
call from
Hunter.
Hunter, what's up, man?
Hey, I wanted to refer to that Josh's comment. That's not what his mom said when she was sleeping with him for 2 weeks when we were watching the Tennessee and Clemson game.
Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate that. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. Coach Ford says, what is the logo on your cap? Coach Ford, this is Shane Storm. Like instead of Sandstorm, it's Shane Storm. I'm surprised you haven't seen this before, but yeah, it's Shane Storm. Shane Storm. So I don't know. Hunter was trolling the guy that called in earlier. So I appreciate that, Hunter. Yeah, it was that was witty, my guy. That was witty. B. Hughes says, you see that banner of these fans trying to fly over the Orange Bowl? I think it's dumb as hell. B. Hughes, I've heard about that. And let me just say this. What is it, like $2,500 for a banner or something? I think I saw somebody saying that. Whatever. Hey, if somebody wants to pay to fly a banner to troll Clem Sucks and Tennessee, I mean, who cares? Like, what difference does it make? Coach Ford, okay, says I can read the words. What's the image? So it's a hand holding a towel, like waving a towel. It's a hand holding a towel, and so like the towel's waving in the air. Let's see. Can you see that, Coach Ford? So it's like a hand holding a towel. Yeah. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
call from
Lewis.
Lewis, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Hey, so I want to get your thoughts on a timeline and when we'll see our first welcome home from the transfer portal, and when your thoughts are that we might hear about the next OC.
Well, I mean, as far as the transfer portal, man, I think that could come any day. I mean, it's hard to tell. I don't think guys are open to commit and enter the portal whenever. So I know Coach Beamer tweeted yesterday about the welcome home. That was for a 24 guy. But, I'm sure those are conversations that are happening with guys in the portal. And it could just come any day. In regards to the OC thing, I mean, again, it's sort of tough to say because, I'm not in the building there with Coach Beamer or anybody else. So, I would like to think they will have an OC hired before signing day on the 21st, 2 weeks from today. I mean, but everything you hear right now, man, is per sources season. It's he said, she said nonsense, most of it. So, all we can do is kind of go off what Coach Beamer said. And I mean, I think they're working diligently, and I don't think he's sitting around the facility or just sitting on his hands, right? Like, we don't have an OC, no big deal. I'm sure he's making calls and running interviews and, figuring out who are realistic candidates and who are not. And, will they promote from within? There's a lot of decisions to make, but I mean, I'd imagine sooner rather than later, my guy, but it's anybody's guess at this point.
Well, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I think we've got good momentum going into this bowl game. I think we're going to lock down some good transfers. I think we've got some playmakers that we really didn't get the chance to see last season. So should be a good year for us in 23. But I think it starts with that OC because that'll determine whether Rattler comes back or not.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think so as well. So Definitely before the bowl game, and I think that's a given in regards to when the OC will be hired. But who knows, man? I mean, you know how news works; it could just come at any point. So we're all on edge, sort of waiting.
Got it, man. Well, I appreciate you. Listen, man, have a good day.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. Thanks so much for the call. Good stuff. 843-790-3377. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in here on this Wednesday. Yeah, I'm glad the mic doesn't cut out either, guys. I don't know. We're doing pretty well. I think the new interface is the move. I think the new interface is doing work. So great stuff. Anyways, Kayshawn says, Chris, let's talk about Nick Harbor. Okay, what do you want to talk about, Kayshawn? What do you want to talk about? I mean, it'd be a huge pickup. It would be massive. I mean, I don't have much to say other than that because anything else, any other convo is speculation, you know. So I mean, it'd be a massive pickup for sure, and I mean that would be a game changing type of commitment. Let's go back to the phone lines.
Call from
DR.
DR, what's up, man? How are you?
Chris, how's it going?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
I'm just trying to figure out, you heard anything about the defense line? Any of those guys going to back out for the bowl, or I mean, are they all still planning on playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think guys are all going to play. I mean, Zach Pickens is playing in the Senior Bowl, so I certainly don't think he's skipping the bowl game. And outside of that, I mean, I don't even really know who would sit out, who would opt out, why they would opt out. So I think we'll be, Cam Smith's not going to play. He's getting ready for the draft, which is, it's understandable. It's kind of expected, to be honest. But I think everybody else should be good to go.
Good deal. That's what I was wanting to know.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a big match, but I'm all for him. So I hope we all do well, and go Cox.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Cox. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call.
Thanks, Chris.
Great stuff. That was DR calling in. James Kendall, my man. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. Again, guys, want to say thank you so much for the love and support on the merchandise side of the business. We are getting these towels out as fast as possible. Truly a blessing. The massive successes we've had on the merchandise side of the biz, and it's just really cool. So anybody going down to Jacksonville, yours truly will be down there kind of setting up right now, but we'll definitely be there for the game. Rebecca, you can't make me laugh mid-sentence. We'll probably I'll probably head down there, I don't know, either Tuesday or Wednesday. Game's obviously probably on Wednesday I'll go down. Probably Wednesday. I got to see, like, when are the bowl, like, events. Let's see. Fan events. Here we go. Game week. Let's see what they've got here. Okay, so December the 29th, day before, so that's Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday is when they have the pep rally. 6:15 is the pep rally. Jacksonville Beach Seawalk Pavilion. So, there we go. All right. So I'll at minimum. So I'll probably go down then Wednesday, so I can catch the pep rally Thursday. We'll make some content down there, chop it up Wednesday, Thursday, and of course Friday for the game. Probably head out Saturday. So be a good time. Be a really, really good time. Hope to see y'all down there. I'm looking forward to it. My first ever bowl game that is outside of the Carolinas. I've been to 2 bowl games, both in Charlotte. My guy Brennan M. Shout out to the mighty sound of the Southeast. They're performing at the pep rally, so I definitely got to go now. I mean, that's just a given. It's a given for sure. Yeah, let's do it. Let's all meet up at the pep rally. Why not? Why not? Thursday night at 5 to 7 of the pep rallies. Notre Dame's at 5:30 and Carolina's at 6:15. So let's all link up. I'm down. I'll be there. Let's do it. It sounds like a good time to me. Sounds like a great time. We'll all link up and do the damn thing. Coleman Hall says, although I've been critical, I really don't think NIL and transporter will kill college football. If anything, recirculates players that aren't happy. Yeah, I mean, Coleman, here's the thing, too, is like, I mean, we all love college football, and I don't think the powers that be they will not allow college football to get, quote unquote, killed. You know what I mean? Things sort of just always tend to even themselves out. So there's going to be changes. There's going to be, and change makes people uncomfortable, but college football will forever, I think, thrive. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things in college football that will live on forever. Even if players are getting paid and even if, you know, the portal and NIL, all that stuff. I mean, you can't take away the pageantry and the tradition and how special college football is to people. You know what I mean? To be honest, like I love the players, right? The individual players are great, but college football is so much bigger than just one player, right? It's about the Block C. It's about Williams-Brice Stadium. If it ain't swaying, we ain't playing. It's about Sandstorm. It's about 2001. You know, things like that. Like those are things that'll never get taken away. You know, no matter what NIL or portal says or anything like that. So, Travi, I believe Strawn will be back. I've gotten that question so many times. I believe Strawn will be back. Yes. What is your OC list? Somebody texts in, and I mean, guys, I'm just going off of who I've heard the top candidates are. I've heard Garrett Riley, Phil Longo, and Kendall Briles are your top ones now. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis is Zaxby's Hall of Famer.
Robbie Davis, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing a little better, just getting better and better as the days go on. Still feel a little cruddy, but I'm doing better.
I love it, man. Glad to hear
How are you
you're
doing?
on the up and up. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well, man. I appreciate you asking. What's going
on? Side note, I found out a couple of days ago that my brother that lives in the upstate is going to be at the bowl game on the 30th.
Very nice. Will you be there or no?
Oh, if I could, heck yes, but no. If I could, I would be there I would already. If I could, I'd be up there like a week before the bowl game and just stay up there for like a whole week. That way, I'm already up there or down there, whichever one it is. But my brother and two other people that I know, they're going to the bowl game, and I messed with him a little bit. I was like, I'm mad at you. You're going to Florida while I'm still in here in South Carolina, and it's getting colder and colder as the days go on. And you're going to be in Florida where it's going to probably be sunny. Lucky little stinker. He ain't little, but he is a stinker. He is a stinker.
Fair enough. Love it.
But I agree with you, right? Yes, NIL is a thing, right? And the transfer portal is a thing. But the one thing that I believe will not change, like you just said before I called in, right, is the pageantry, the traditions, all the things that make college football amazing. Mm-hmm. And I am like for instance, I'm a Gamecock fan, right? And I'm a Steelers fan, big Steelers fan. But I look at college football much differently than I do professional football. Do I like watching a professional football game? Yes, especially if my Steelers are playing. But I prefer to watch college because, like they say in the SEC, it just means more. Right?
Sometimes it means
too much. But I think that also applies.
Sometimes it means too much.
What'd you say? Yeah. And I think one of the reasons to why a lot of people, I mean, I know there's people that don't watch professional football, but I know there's reasons why, and it's because of like the pageantry is not there. It's not really that big of a deal until we get to the latter part of the season. But in college football, every single week matters. Every single week. All 12 weeks matter. I mean, in the pros, you can start off 1-4 and still somehow make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. No, man,
but if you start off 1-4, if you start off 1-4 in college, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're done.
You're up a doo-doo creek with no toilet paper. It's not going to end well. All right. And that is why I think that's why I love college ball more than I do professional ball, even though I would love to go to a Steelers game. But right now the Steelers are stinking up the field, but they have won a couple of games. But still, I love it anytime I get the chance to go to Willie B in Columbia. I love it. It's awesome. The atmospheres that I have experienced in my lifetime at Willie B, just in general, have been awesome. Even though, yes, I went to the Missouri game and we got beat when we shouldn't have. But all in all, the atmosphere is what makes college football so great.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, again, man, it's the pageantry, the tradition. Yeah.
And I was tempted on Sunday to call my brother and rub it in his face because my Steelers beat his Falcons. But I decided to be the bigger man and I didn't say anything. So. But and I think even with all of these players going into the transfer portal from South Carolina, right? Like I said about Stogner, best of luck to you. No hard feelings. Do what's best for you, right? And you got to think also, a lot of these guys that are getting recruited or guys that are on the team, they sometimes get homesick because they're very far away from home. And I feel like that sometimes ties into players leaving. Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's literally what Stogner told Mike Gillespie of ABC Columbia, that apparently he missed home, which, I mean,
that's understandable.
To each their own, my
guy. I don't know how I would react if I was far away from home.
I mean,
some players just are not comfortable with being far away from home.
To each their own, my guy. To each their own.
And I think even with the players that we have leaving out of the transfer portal, I still believe that this football team is in a very and I would say this regardless, but I still believe that Beamer's got this football team on the right trajectory for this program. I'm behind. I like you. I'm behind him 1,000%. Okay, 1,000%, not 100%, 1,000%. Okay, and I don't give a darn who calls the plays in the bowl game as long as we win. I don't give a damn. I don't care. I mean, you could get Homer Simpson from The Simpsons to call the plays. As long as we win, I don't care.
Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I don't care. Just get some. Just win the game. That's all that matters.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You a big Simpsons guy, Robbie? You Simpsons?
Not really. I just that's the first name that came to mind. So
are you an adult cartoon guy? Not in the dirty, not in the dirty way. Just not in the dirty way. I mean, just cartoons, literally.
I watch King of the Hill occasionally.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
But I think and like you, I'm shocked that Gossier has not transferred to go somewhere else. Because at this point, if he's where I think he is on the roster, I'm surprised he hasn't transferred. But like you said, some people just love being in the SEC and and some players just want to be a Gamecock. And I'd be one of those guys. I would just be happy to put on a jersey and a helmet and stand on the sideline. Okay, I wouldn't give a hoot. But if the coach wanted me to go in there, I'd be ready. I'd be gung ho and ready to go. I'd be fired up and ready to go. Hit somebody. I'd be ready. Just tell me to go get the guy with the football. I'll find him and hit him.
I love it. Robbie, you're the man. You're the man.
But I'm going to go ahead and get off of here.
Yeah.
Whenever you leave and head to Florida, you be careful. And as always, leave the dumb stuff to me. Go Cox, beat the Irish, and go Vols because I hate Clemson. Go Vols.
Love it. Go Vols indeed, my guy.
All right, buddy. Have a good one, all right?
Yeah, man. Take care. Great stuff. Robbie Davis, what a legend! And no, you are you're not higher than a kite, my guy. Well, you might be higher than a kite, but yeah, that was we've actually got the soundboard capabilities through the this Melon streaming platform, if you will. So, I saw somebody comment, "I woke up feeling the cheesiest coach." DGD, chill, bro. Oh God, yeah. The soundboard, I never use it. It's funny. It's on here. Yeah. Robbie Davis. Every time there's a joke. Robbie Davis. What a guy. What a guy. What a legend. Anyways, going up Doo-Doo Creek with no toilet paper. I'm going to start pulling out the soundboard specifically for Robbie. Just for Robbie. Oh, my God. Anyways, guys, phone lines are open. 843-790-3377. Let's see. Yeah, John, Rebecca's trying to get your attention. I don't know if maybe she blocked you on YouTube and so you can't see it, or maybe you blocked her. I don't know, but she's trying to get your attention, my guy. She just commented. Anyways, I know you know what I love about Robbie too is like Robbie, he calls in every day. Yet every day he's like, you have safe travels going to the bowl game. And it's like, Robbie, that's 23 days from now. Like, we're going to talk again. We're going to talk again. So I love it. Though. I love it. Robbie's a great soul and a great person. And I appreciate him. I appreciate him sincerely calling in and putting a smile on all of our faces. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Martin, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
Do you know the success rate on some of these kids that are transferring to hit the portal? Are most of them pretty successful in their next move, or they usually just kind of have the same issue with the next school?
It's tough to say. It's tough to say exactly what the success rate is. I think I saw though last year that like half of the guys didn't find a home in regards to maybe Power 5 or same level as same level as they came from. I don't know that there's really a perfect science, if you will, to it, but it's about probably 50-50, I'd say, in regards to success. Again, how do you quantify success? You know what I mean? Like what deems success and not success?
Well, I feel like they're wanting to play football somewhere else, actually play ball. I was just kind of curious. I know we've had quarterbacks in the past, and they've really had the same issues. From Brandon McElwain, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Politsky, they've left and seem to have the same luck when they go to other schools. I didn't know if we'd had some guys that would leave South Carolina that have actually made their mark at other places.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's just tough because, I mean, just because you transfer doesn't mean you're guaranteed to, I know guys are looking for different opportunities, but it's not a guarantee you're going to go, be an All-American, right? And that's, I would say for a lot of guys, that's probably the case. So Yeah, I don't know if you're weighing success in that way, then I'd probably say the success is pretty damn low. I mean, because you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, for some guys it works out well and they go win a national title or they go become a all conference player, all American, whatever. But for a lot of guys, they're most of the time I would probably argue you're not hitting the portal because things are going well. Like for example, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Jaheim Bell? You hope he does well. You hope he's an all-conference player, but he might go to another school and just kind of be what he was at Carolina. I mean, you just never know, right? There's so many other factors that go into it, right? In regards to coaching staff they're with and team they're on and conference they're in. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's not as simple as like, oh, well, you're talented, so you'll do well. So that's the risk they take. A lot of guys find out that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So.
Well, everyone seems to be raising hell about the transfer portal and they hate it, but I don't think it hurts teams like South Carolina. I think it's hurting like the Georgias, the Alabamas, the guys that have depth that are losing depth. I think we're actually striking gold because of the transfer portal.
Yeah, no, we are. No, I definitely think so. I think more parity is hitting college football. You're seeing a lot of these, again, 4 and 5 star guys that either, they're not playing or what have you. They're going elsewhere. They want to play. Again, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're sitting on the bench, there's no glory in that. So, yeah, I mean, I think that it's bringing more parity to college football, which I think is a good thing.
And I'll ask this: do you think that Shane Beamer actually knows who the coordinator is, and that's why 2 tight ends left in the same day? Because maybe South Carolina's not going to beat your tight ends with this next run with a coordinator. I just kind of find it wild that the only two guys that leave are unexpectedly leaving. And they're tight ends, and maybe they know something that we don't. You think so, or you think it's just a coincidence?
I mean, it could be. I mean, you never know. It could be. I mean, that's kind of the that's the frustrating yet beautiful thing of it, right? It's what makes the content game so much fun because it's pure speculation. I mean, we have no idea. So, maybe there's a new OC coming in that he's not as big on the tight end, and I don't know. I don't know. But you look at like a Jaheim Bell, and he's a guy that could have played anywhere. So I don't know if that's a perfect science, if you will, breaking it down that way. But I will tell you this: Beamer has I highly doubt Beamer sitting there with just no clue who the next OC is. I'm sure he's narrowed it down to a couple of guys. He's having conversations. I mean, I can assure you he's working diligently to get that role filled.
Well, that's great. I haven't wanted a Rattler this bad since I was a baby, man. I want this guy back next year. I'm ready to see some more of him.
Hey,
so
same here, man.
Hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, it could be a special 2023, man, if Spencer Rattler and a couple of these other key guys return.
Oh yeah. But hey, I appreciate you, man.
Take care. Man. Yeah, thanks so much for the call. Great stuff. Again, guys, keep it coming. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, that being said, it's 1:16. Let's go ahead and jump into another break. On the side, I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. Again, guys, want to hear from you. Yeah, the collab shirts, guys, December the 15th is when those will be shipped out. Breaking, what's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, thank you all so much, guys, for the love, the support. Let's see. We got Rebecca talking about Martin, Keith. We can't even keep up with them all. Anyways, it's that time of year, man. You know, I was thinking about what are the top Christmas movies. Again, we'll take your questions. I'm just kind of rambling here on a Wednesday. I saw some list. Do you know, by the way, I've never seen the movie Die Hard. So when people talk about Die Hard's a Christmas movie, I have no idea because I've never seen it. Never seen it. From what it sounds like, though, it sounds like it shouldn't be one. I'm looking at this list, too, that entertainment, whatever, EW.com dropped. It's a Wonderful Life. Never seen that. 1946 when that was released. Never seen that. We watch A Christmas Story every year. Elf, not bad. I think it's a little overrated, to be honest with you. I think Elf's a bit overrated. Yeah. Love Christmas Vacation. Oh, Christmas Vacation's the movie. Christmas Vacation's the movie. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rebecca, phone lines are open. I don't think your number's blocked, Rebecca. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Yeah, Christmas Vacation's goated. It just Christmas Vacation's it, dude. That's it. Absolutely. Anyways, we'll talk more Christmas movies as we get closer to the holiday itself. Really excited again, guys, to get down to Jacksonville the week of the game. A little bit of a shorter show, the podcast today, obviously. Friday, we'll talk more basketball. Basketball returns to action this weekend. I was thinking this was actually a week I probably could have gotten away with just taking it off, but why would I do that? Right? I love what I do. Why would I do that? Yeah, so basketball returns to action Sunday. It's weird. They got a double header at the CLA. Double header. Women play at 2, men play at 6. So it'll be a full day of basketball, but yeah. So Jackson Stone says losing Bell is not that big of a deal. Well, I'll say this: you lost 490 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's what you lost. So if you want to look at it that way, that's what you lost. And I'll tell you this, guys. You know, I talked about this on social media this morning. But I've spoken on it all week long, and I just say this, man, like, am I happy Jaheim Bell hit the portal? I'm not. I'm not happy he hit the portal. You know, would I have loved to seen him back in Garnet and Black? Absolutely, I would have. But again, as I said yesterday, and I'll just continue to say it, I don't believe in making bad business deals for 490 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, see, that's the problem. That's one of the problems with this NIL thing. That's one of the problems with the way this thing is constructed right now. See, in pro sports, you get paid based off production, right? Like if Aaron Rodgers asked for a certain contract, or if Russell Wilson asks for a certain contract, well, based off their performance, their resume, what they've done, you know, they're going to get paid a certain amount. Same thing in any pro sport, right? If you're a rookie, you're probably going to get paid this amount. Like in college sports, we're literally just making it up as we go along. We're literally just making up numbers as we go along. And Rebecca, I can't even find your number. So even if I wanted to unblock you, if I have you blocked, I don't even know where your number is. I don't know. Oh, well. No, you're not blocked, Rebecca. I don't know what you're talking about. You're not blocked. So, I mean, if you want to call in, you're more than welcome. If not, don't come at me for it. But anyways, I like NIL. I like NIL. Let's jump to the phone lines.
Call from
Rebecca.
Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I haven't been feeling that good
What you got
here lately.
You got the Rona?
No,
Good to hear.
it's something personal, but I'm not going into details. But anyway, I know everybody's wanting me to call in.
Everybody wants you to call in. I mean, literally everybody.
Right. What is everybody wanting me to talk about?
What's going on with your love life?
Well, Keith is a controlling boyfriend. And he's telling me that I need to sacrifice something in our relationship. And he's going to be kicked to the curb telling me what to do. I'm not going to put up with this bullshit.
This is Keith you're speaking on.
Yeah, that's the one I'm dating right now. He's about to be gone. Telling me, all right, I'll explain. I get on these chat rooms that I love to talk and everything. And he don't like it that I get on these chat rooms and talk. Okay? And he wants me to stop talking to these people that is on the chat room, which I know them longer than Keith. And they want me to stop talking to them. And they are my friends because I know them longer. So he thinks that I should put him first instead of the chat room. And you know that God's got to be number one in anyway. And he's the type of person that likes the control. So the way I feel about him, if he's going to still keep up with this shit, I'm just going to kick him to the curb because if I'm not going to deal with this bullshit no more. And whatever Christmas gift he's got me, he can keep it for himself.
He can keep it. And most importantly,
right,
he can kiss your ass.
Right. So this is what kind of bullshit that I'm dealing with Keith right now. That he wants to be a controlling boyfriend. And I've had an ex-husband that's the same way.
Your ex-husband's the same way?
My second husband was the same way. And that's the reason why I divorced his ass. Plus, he was committing adultery on me. So,
Hold on. So you're two husbands down, and so or is there more? How many husbands have we been through at this point?
I've been married twice and been divorced twice.
Okay. I did not know that. This is news for us all.
Yeah, my first one was because of my dad in that situation. I'm not going into detail on that. But my second husband, he committed adultery on me 5 times, had sex with different people.
5 different people?
Yeah. Right behind my back, and I got a divorce from him. And he was a controlling husband, too.
He's for the streets, Rebecca. That's what we like to call for the streets. He lived in the streets. You were good to throw him back to the streets. So now we're dealing with Keith, correct? Keith.
Yeah.
Because
Keith.
From the time I've known you, there's been Dale, Martin. Now there's Keith. Am I missing anyone?
It's been Martin, then Dale, now Keith that I've dated.
I don't know how we just found out you've been married and divorced twice. That just completely like new information. We got new info coming up. You've been holding out on us. Wow. Yeah. What a time. Well, I wanted to let you know, John Rice said you can call him anytime if you need to vent about any of your relationship stuff, or he's more than. I think John was a therapist in his past life. So John Rice, I'll give you his cell number after the show.
I thought John Rice was married.
Rebecca, John Rice is married. I just said he would talk to you if needed. I didn't say he was going to date you. I said he'd talk to you.
I was going to say.
Huh?
I was going to say because I was not going to hit on a married man.
Rebecca, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. I thought the one dude you were with was married.
Keith is married, but he's getting a divorce from his wife. So.
Okay.
But anyway, I just thought I'd just call in.
Yeah, sounds like another slow day in the life of Rebecca.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that if Keith still keeps on with his bullshit, he's going to be kicked to the curb.
Keith has officially entered the transfer portal.
Yep, if he keeps on.
You are forcing Keith to the transfer portal.
That they're all asking for you, that they want me to call in regular.
We might have to make it a regular thing, Rebecca. Might have to make it a regular thing.
That's all everybody's wanting to hear it. You don't see what they're saying.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Well, Rebecca, I'd tell you this. My 2 cents on it. Yeah, these homies are for the streets. So I think you're better off just focusing on Rebecca and leaving the men for the streets.
That's what I was thinking. Just focus on myself and be single.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Just do you. Or as my mom likes to say, go to church and find somebody good. Go take yourself to church. Maybe you can go find a good man at church.
Well, I need to get myself back with the Lord anyway. I'm not lying with you on that either, Chris. I'm being honest with you.
Well, I know either way, Rebecca, you will keep us updated. So it's we got what 24 more days in the year 2022. There's still time to find you another man as we go into 2023. So, I mean, you're kind of. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Rebecca, you're kind of a player. Like you got it going on. You just cycle through them. You're the most desired thing in East Tennessee.
I know. Big old Gamecock fan from all the way from East Tennessee. Yeah, and that's the reason why we won over Tennessee and Clemson was because of my great aunt up in heaven.
Thank God for your deceased relatives for leading us to victory. Indeed. I mean, I really, truly.
Yeah, but respect the dad, though.
Hey, got nothing but respect. Got nothing but respect, truly.
Yeah, I was thinking about going up there, today, go up to the grave. So.
Damn, Rebecca, I'm just still mind blown. I'm just still mind blown you've been married and divorced twice. I didn't know. So let me ask you this then, Rebecca. If you've been married and divorced twice, you have great perspective on relationships. What's your best piece of advice to, like, let's say like a young couple like John and his wife or any of the young couples out there? What's your best piece of advice to long-lasting success in a relationship?
Well, first thing first, put God first in your relationship. 2, don't find a partner that likes to be controlling. And 3, let it last.
And what's number 3?
Let it last.
Let it last.
The best it can last.
Last. Let it last. That's what you're saying, correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, okay. LAST.
Okay.
And just take it day by day.
Rebecca, the crowd wants to know, I'm urged to ask because you have been very open and vocal on this show. And those are great pieces of advice. Does size matter? Yes or no?
No, it don't.
Okay. I had a request. I felt like it was, I just felt like I needed to ask. Okay. Fair enough. Just curious. So you don't have to be in the big cock club to sweep Rebecca off her feet. Fair enough. Good to know.
Who asked that question anyway?
Just we get all kinds of comments, Rebecca, from Facebook, YouTube. Heck, I get texts from people. So you just, I won't expose who asked me the question, but a fair question nonetheless. I mean, it's, people want to know. These are real. These are real. This is real. Real shit here. So I'm glad you addressed that.
There's Lady Bree. Lady Bree, I was wanting to talk to you when I get a chance. If you don't mind. What it is, I got a T-shirt from Pigeon Forge the other day. Okay? And it says that Jesus is my savior. Trump is my president. And Lady Bree didn't like what the T-shirt said. So.
All right, Rebecca. Well, you and Bree, y'all take that combo off the air. Y'all take that combo off the air. Y'all hash that one out. We ain't about to do no 3-way call, and y'all.
Right.
Right. Y'all got that under control. Y'all got that under control. We need to. I need to get this show back on the rails here. This thing's kind of gone off on a. Kind of gone off. We got to get this thing steered back.
Right. But anyway, I'm going to get off here anyway.
Well, Rebecca, this has been an electric conversation. Electric, truly. And I appreciate you being so open and honest with our audience. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it for letting me get on here and talk.
Absolutely. The pleasure was truly all ours. Truly.
Right. All right, go Gamecock. I hope everybody have a good day.
Go Cox, Rebecca. We'll talk soon. Let's jump into our next call.
Call from
Dale from East Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
To accept.
Dale from East Tennessee is on the line. Dale, what's going on?
Hi. You really don't know me, but I know you, Chris. I'm one of Rebecca's former lovers. It's just really hard to reach out like this, but I see her all the time in the chat still, and it's just been rough. And she's forgot about me. Everybody's talking about Martin and Keith, but nobody's talking about Dale. And she was the love of my life. We rose in the morning together and laid at night together. I don't know what happened, Chris. She just left me one day. She said I was mean to her. And said I brought the devil to her, but I did everything she said. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm in the kindergarten. She said God, chat rooms in me, Dale. So I feel for Keith. I do. I do feel for him, but he's got to learn his spot like I had to. Rebecca, if you're listening, don't forget about Dale. Please don't. You were the peanut to my butter. And baby, it wasn't premarital or nothing like that. All I want to do is make a scrapbook of your feet. That's all. That's all. That's all I needed.
Not the feet, Dale. Not the feet. Not the feet. Come on, man.
Chris, if you've seen them, buddy. Chris, just think.
It's like looking into a sunrise, looking at those. Just, everybody's like, I want to see one more sunrise. And that's how it felt every day. All right. Well, I just needed to make an appearance because I felt like it was needed. So, Rebecca, if you would, please reach out to me. I love you, baby. And if not, can I at least have Cocky back, please? You can have Caroline. Just give me Cocky. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna jump into a break. I don't know what to say, guys. On the side, we'll try to get this thing. I don't know. Screw it. We'll go ahead and keep it rolling. Hunter, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah. So I just want to let everybody know, Trump fucking motherfucking 24.
Okay, now we're jumping into a break. Y'all are doing too much today. Y'all are officially need to be put in timeout. We'll be back in 5. You're tuned to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. What a show today. I mean, just completely see, it's like I told you guys, right? Like the beauty in when things slow down a little bit, right? When we get past football and days like this where there's not quite as much going on, right? Like that's when some of the most incredible content arises because it's so unhinged, it's so absurd, and it's so ridiculous. With that being said, you know, what I love about this community that we've built is, you know, you guys, I mean, the Daily Crowers that tune in on a daily basis, you guys, I interact with you all more than anybody else. I almost feel like we're kind of, you know, we sort of know each other. And, you know, I figure why not? I'll just say this since today is just completely unhinged. Anyways, and I'll throw the show for another loop, another spin, if you will. And I keep my personal life, you know, I keep things private, right? I mean, I put so much of myself out there on social media and through content and stuff like that obviously, you know, I have a personal life I keep private behind closed doors, whatever. But I will say I will say this. My girl is tuned into this show for the first time ever. And so this is her first taste of what I do. And she's probably going to start questioning what the hell it is I do for a living because this is her first experience in regards to content. So thank y'all for making this one memorable, to say the least. Like I said, she's probably going to be like, what the hell is it you actually do? So yeah, I mean, it's like, believe it or not, I swear we actually do talk sports. Yeah, but every now and then things get a little out of control. So I'm sure the chat's about to blow up with questions. I will be answering no further questions at this time. So I'll be answering no further questions at this time. I will be giving you nothing but coach speak on that. Nothing but coach speak in that regard. So, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, she's having a blast watching this. But anyways, thank y'all. We got 5 minutes to go. Like I said, guys, podcast dropped this morning. Full thoughts on the transfer portal, Jaheim Bell, Austin Stogner. Also, hey, the Yardcocks dropped their schedule. Full schedule release February 17th. February 17th will be opening day. Carolina Clemson set for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, I believe, of March. Looking forward to that. And also, hey, the neutral site games here in Greenville. So yours truly will be at that. Yours truly will be at that. Going to be a good time. We'll probably throw some sort of tailgate, some sort of event, stuff like that. Yeah, Lot J for the tailgate in Jacksonville. Lot J for the tailgate in Jacksonville. So, yes, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I will give you guys more details as we go. We'll give you guys more details as we go, as we get closer. But, yeah, Lot J will be partnered with Carolina Cigars. We'll have the TSUS Big Cock Club flags flying. Going to be a good time. Looking forward to it. And already excited for you guys to come out. Like I said, we'll probably go into town probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I know they're having the big pep rally Thursday, and then, of course, Friday the game. So excited, man. Like I said, it'll be my first bowl game outside of – I've only been to 2, and they've both been in Charlotte. So to have an excuse to go down to Florida, be in some warm weather, hopefully, and enjoy the game. And, you know, Notre Dame's a great opponent, great matchup. But I'm really just trying to compose my brain here because I've got a bit of noodle brain after the Rebecca call. And, yeah, so, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Jesus Christ, Connor Lee. Jesus Christ. Ridiculous. You're absurd. Anyways, no, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I keep my personal life, a lot of things in my personal life private, but now you know. Now you know. John says, Chris, favorite Christmas dessert? Well, for me, John, it's a little bit different because it's my birthday. So my mom, every year, my parents always make this grandma's chocolate pie recipe, and that serves as my birthday cake. So, and it's obviously it's a dessert. So the grandma's chocolate pie, chef's kiss, incredible. That's got to be my favorite, obviously. That's got to be my favorite. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Christmas is a good time. We'll have the Dear Santa episode. I know many of you look forward to that whenever I do. I look forward to that. We'll have the Dear Santa episode. It's also fun the final week of the year. We look back on the year that was, look ahead to the following year, or the next year, if you will. And it's really cool to reflect on the successes that we've had all throughout the year. And especially, I mean, when you're doing shit. Sorry, I just got a text. Yeah, just anyways. When you look forward to the upcoming year, and but it's cool looking back all the successes we've had throughout the calendar year, and especially when you're on social media and it's just really cool. So it's a testament to you guys, the love, the support, putting the grind day after day. Yeah, my birthday is Christmas Day, the 25th. So yeah, today this second hour has just been off the rails, man. I need to get out of here and whatever, man. I'm flustered. I'm high key flustered. So, yeah, Travis, I'm not reading the text. I can assure you, I'm not reading the text. I'm not reading the text I just got. Anyways, guys, we're about to hit 2:00. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, check out TDC in podcast form. This show drops every day at 3 after we conclude. Again, podcast, also the main podcast, the TSUS show dropped this morning. TDC Rocking All Week podcast on Friday. Stay tuned on the content. And thank you all so much rolling with the punches, man. It feels good that we finally have the new interface. We finally got the new interface in line, and I would say it very successful first day. So very successful first day indeed. Guys, thank you all so much. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk to you all